There's nothing random about the exact moment your fingers stopped and decided to open this video. It wasn't curiosity. It wasn't boredom. It was that silent instant when something inside you said, wait, even before your mind could explain why. Maybe you were looking at the screen without really knowing what you were searching for. Maybe you opened this while pretending to concentrate on work, or lying down staring at the ceiling, or with your phone in hand at an hour you didn't plan to be awake. That small void between one action and another, that second when everything feels suspended, that's where change usually begins, though almost no one notices it. Because when an internal stage is reaching its limit, life doesn't shout, it withdraws, it loosens, it dismantles in silence. And only those who've already begun to feel that something doesn't fit, like before, perceive that subtle call. If you're here now, it's not because you needed entertainment, but because you're standing just before a point that doesn't repeat, just before a turn that can no longer be postponed. Breathe a little, not in the automatic way. Breathe as if you were reclaiming territory within yourself. Notice how your body tries to readjust, how your mind tries to understand what's happening, as if searching for explanations for sensations that still have no name. Behind that confusion, there's a silent reorganization happening. When the soul decides to change, everything around begins to respond. People, paths, synchronicities, thoughts that appear from nowhere, an inexplicable willingness to abandon certain habits. None of this is random. It's just the natural process of someone about to traverse a threshold that can no longer be postponed, even though, outwardly, your life still seems the same. And it's precisely in that contrast, between what is seen and what is felt, that the turn begins to be born. It's as if two realities coexisted at the same time. The outer reality, where everything seems to follow its normal course, where no one notices something is changing in you, and the inner reality, where everything is in motion, where emotional tectonic plates are shifting, where the old version of you is being dismantled piece by piece to give space to something new that still has no defined form, but already pulses with its own life. And before continuing, I need to tell you something that may sound familiar. You've felt this before, several times, moments when life seemed to push you towards something you couldn't see clearly, but whose weight you felt anyway. The difference now is that you're not trying to flee. For the first time in a long time, you're standing still, facing head-on what you always avoided. And even without perceiving it, this has already begun to transform you. You no longer have the same patience for superficial things. You can no longer pretend interest where there is none. You can no longer smile when inside you only feel emptiness. You can no longer continue with conversations that lead nowhere. You can no longer tolerate environments that drain your energy. You no longer accept relationships where you have to diminish yourself to fit. Something in you has changed, and though you still don't know exactly what, you know you cannot go back. Deep changes never begin with grand gestures. They begin with small perceptions. The feeling that certain places no longer receive you the same way. The impression that you're present but don't belong, as if you were seeing your life from outside, waiting for a sign that confirms what you already know. And in a way, this video is exactly that sign, emerging at the exact minute you stop for a moment and admit, even discreetly, that you can no longer continue the same way. It's that moment when you realize you no longer fit in your own life, when the emotional clothing you've been wearing no longer fits, when the masks you've been wearing have become too heavy, when the roles you've been playing no longer have a script to follow. It's that moment of existential crisis that isn't a crisis but an awakening, that isn't a collapse but a transformation, that isn't an end but a threshold. And that feeling of displacement isn't failure, it's adjustment. When you grow inside, the world that was aligned with the old you begins to lose its fit. Conversations that once captured your attention now tire you. Situations you tolerated begin to make you uncomfortable in a sharper, almost physical way. People who once had power over your emotions begin to lose space naturally, Not because you push them away, but because you finally return to yourself. You're not becoming colder, you're becoming more selective. You're not isolating yourself. You're organizing yourself internally to not waste energy on what no longer accompanies your movement. This change is so deep that you may not perceive it, but it's already happening. And when you breathe within this new adjustment, something inside you begins to understand that this discomfort is just the invitation for your expansion. It's as if you were moving house without physically leaving where you are, as if you were changing skin without anyone noticing from the outside, as if you were undergoing an invisible but absolutely real metamorphosis. And during that process, you feel strange, out of place, as if you didn't belong anywhere, neither to the world you're leaving behind, nor to the world you're heading toward. And as you continue listening to me, you may notice that something inside you is loosening, as if you were finally releasing an ancient weight, even though you still don't know where it came from. And if, at this point, something inside you is resonating with these words, I want to ask you something simple but meaningful. Leave a comment here saying just, "I'm here," as a way of affirming for yourself this turning point you're traversing. Do it not for me, but for you, as an act of recognition, as a way to mark this moment in your personal timeline, as a way of telling the universe, I'm listening, I'm present, I'm ready. And if you feel this journey speaks directly to what you're living, subscribe as well, to continue receiving messages that only arrive when you're ready to hear them. Do this only if you feel it makes sense for your process, never out of obligation. Everything here is about flow, not about pressure. It's about synchronicity, not about coincidence. It's about recognition, not about convincing. If it resonates, act. If it doesn't resonate, simply continue your path. There's no judgment here, no expectations, only a silent call for those who are ready to hear it. Breathe again. Feel that slight expansion that comes when you perceive you're changing even without having planned it. Because that's how the soul does it. It gets ahead. Before you understand, it's already made silent decisions. Before you begin to act, it's already begun to clear the path. And this video, this message, this moment, all of this is part of the same movement. A call that only appears when you're about to cross the line that separates who you were from who you're ready to be. That's why certain words only make sense now. That's why you feel a kind of deep recognition, as if you were hearing something your soul already knew, but your mind had forgotten. As if these words weren't new but reminders. As if I weren't teaching you something, but awakening something that was always there, asleep, waiting for the right moment to emerge. And I know there's something inside you that's still trying to resist, because every turn brings fear. Fear of losing what was, fear of not sustaining what comes, fear of walking without guarantee. It's the fear of letting go of the known branch before grabbing the unknown branch. It's the fear of that in-between space where you're neither who you were nor who you'll be. It's the fear of the void, of limbo, of uncertainty. But there's also a courage you can't ignore. A small but insistent force that pushes you forward even when you try to slow down. It's not impulse. It's not anxiety. It's not desperation. It's your soul tired of waiting, tired of repeating cycles, tired of holding versions that have become too small for everything you're destined to live. It's that internal voice that no longer accepts excuses, that no longer accepts postponements, that no longer accepts later, maybe, when the time is right. Because that voice knows something your conscious mind is still trying to process. The time is now, not tomorrow, not when you have more money, not when you have more time, not when circumstances are perfect. Now, at this exact moment, at this point in your life, with everything you have and everything you don't have, with all your doubts and all your fears, now. And that's why, even with doubt, even with hesitation, you keep listening, because you know you need to. Because something inside you recognizes that this is the message you've been waiting for. That these are the words you needed to hear. That this is the push you needed to finally take the leap you've been postponing. The truth is that, for a long time, you adapted to what hurt. You learned to fit in places that squeezed you. You learned to say yes when your whole body screamed no. You learned to carry weights that weren't yours because you believed you needed to prove something, pay for something, compensate for something. You became an expert at betraying yourself in the name of peace, of harmony, of not disappointing others. But now you're beginning to understand that there's nothing to prove, that the life you tried to sustain for so long wasn't yours, that you only continued there because you believed it was enough, when in reality it was just familiar. And the familiar, however comfortable it may seem, always pulls you back toward the version of you that has already grown old, that has become obsolete, that no longer serves where you're heading. You're saying goodbye to a part of yourself. Though you may not have perceived it, this process has already begun. And every goodbye brings a subtle mourning, sometimes so silent you don't know how to explain why you're more sensitive, more tired, more introspective. But that's how it is. Before the turn, the soul goes silent. And it's in that silence that it prepares you for what's coming, as if it were gathering your forces, reorganizing your pieces, cleaning what no longer serves. And the more you allow yourself to listen to that silence, the more you perceive it's not empty. It's full of omens, of intuitions, of small signs that begin to appear in your day-to-day, as if the universe were giving you discrete clues that everything is moving, even though you still don't see it clearly. Those signs come in unexpected forms. A song you hear at the exact moment with the perfect lyrics. A casual conversation that touches exactly the subject that's been circling your mind. A vivid dream that leaves you with a strange feeling upon waking. A number you keep seeing everywhere. A word that appears repeatedly in different contexts. This video, this moment, everything is connected. Everything is part of the same cosmic symphony that's orchestrating your transformation. Life is calling you to a greater movement. Not greater in terms of volume, of visibility, of external conquests, but greater in depth. The turn that's coming isn't about changing scenery. It's about changing consciousness. It's about seeing what you never managed to truly look at. It's about finally having the courage to abandon what only existed to keep you small. It's about entering your own life with presence, not as a spectator. It's about stopping living on autopilot and beginning to live with intention. It's about stopping reacting and beginning to create. It's about stopping surviving and beginning to live. And as you advance internally, everything around begins to reflect that movement. Things that once went unnoticed now touch you. Words that once hurt you no longer have the same power. And you perceive you're growing from the inside out. And perhaps you feel you're losing something now. Relationships that fade, paths that close, interests that evaporate. This isn't loss, it's filtration. Life is removing the excess so you can breathe. It's removing distractions so you can hear. It's clearing the space so you can receive. And though this sometimes hurts, there's a deep relief hidden in this cleansing. A relief that only appears when you perceive you never needed to carry so much. It's as if you'd been carrying a backpack full of stones for years, believing each stone was valuable, that each weight had a purpose. And now, one by one, those stones are falling. And with each stone that falls, you breathe a little easier. You walk a little lighter. You feel a little more yourself. Until one day you realize the backpack is empty. And for the first time in a long time, you feel genuine freedom. And this is where everything changes. Because there's a point, a specific instant, a perfect alignment between your pain, your courage, and your consciousness. And that point is the door of the turn. You're exactly in front of it now. That's why you found this message. That's why this phrase stayed in your mind. That's why even though you don't fully understand, you know something is different. You're at the threshold, and no one arrives at this threshold by accident. Life brought you here with surgical precision, with a synchronicity so perfect it only confirms what you already suspected. You're ready to traverse, not because everything is resolved, not because you have all the answers, not because you know exactly what comes next, but because you can no longer stay where you are. Because staying would be betraying yourself. Because staying would be dying slowly. Because staying is no longer an option. You may think you're not ready, but the soul never calls before its time. If you're here, it's because something inside you already traversed even before the rest accompanied. The mind is delayed. The body is delayed. But the soul is already on the other side, waiting. And when that consciousness arrives, something inside you relaxes, as if you could finally release what was always held by the force of fear, as if you could allow life to reorganize everything without needing to control the details. And it's in that relaxation that the turn happens, not in the scream, not in the effort, not in the struggle. The turn comes at the instant you stop clinging to what was keeping you away from yourself. It's the moment when you let go, when you trust, when you surrender not in defeat but in acceptance, when you stop swimming against the current and finally allow the river to carry you, when you stop fighting with life and begin to flow with it, when you stop trying to control the outcome and simply surrender to the process. You don't need to do anything now. Just listen, just allow, just breathe in this new internal space that has begun to open. Because what comes after this moment isn't destruction. It's reconstruction. It's not rupture. It's alignment. It's not chaos. It's clarity. It's not loss. It's liberation. It's not an ending. It's a beginning. You're being prepared for a more authentic, simpler, truer movement. And though you don't know exactly what the next step is, you'll feel when the time comes. Life will show you, in the same way it brought you here. And you'll follow, not because someone said so, but because you'll feel the path opening under your feet. You'll feel the doors that open. You'll perceive the signs that appear. You'll recognize the synchronicities that guide you. You'll hear the internal voice that directs you. And you'll trust, because you finally understood that voice has never lied to you. That voice always knew. That voice is the voice of your soul communicating with you, guiding you, caring for you. And from here forward, you won't ignore the signs anymore. You won't betray yourself anymore to fit. You won't shrink anymore to maintain anyone's peace. You won't carry expectations that were never yours anymore. You're becoming someone who honors their own rhythm, their own energy, their own soul, and that, by itself, is already the turn. The rest is consequence. You won't settle for crumbs anymore when you deserve the full banquet. You won't accept half relationships anymore when you deserve deep connections. You won't tolerate toxic environments anymore when you deserve spaces that nourish you. You won't silence your voice anymore when you deserve to be heard. You won't diminish your light anymore when you deserve to shine with your full intensity. This is the beginning of your turn, and you could only see this now because it was exactly here where you needed to be. Nothing before, nothing after, exactly now, at this precise moment, at this specific point in your evolution, at this sacred instant of your transformation. Breathe, allow, move forward when you feel it. Don't rush. Don't pressure yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just trust. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust yourself. Trust that everything is happening exactly as it should happen. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be. Trust that the universe has your back. It always has. It always will. Life is opening the path before you. You can see it if you pay attention. You can feel it if you stop long enough. You can perceive it if you allow yourself to be present. The path was always there, just waiting for you to be ready to see it. And now you're ready. Finally, you're ready. And you're finally prepared to traverse, to cross that threshold, to take that leap, to become who you were always destined to be, to live the life your soul has been asking for, to reclaim your power, to embrace your truth, to honor your essence, to finally, completely, authentically be you. The turn has already begun. It's already in motion. It's already happening. And there's no turning back. only forward, only upward, only toward your highest expression, only toward your deepest truth, only toward the life you deserve to live. You're here, you're present, you're ready, and that's all you need to be.